This video is going to be video number 1 out of 3 videos that I'm going to create on how to create professional looking content and professional sounding content with make.com that doesn't sound like cheap AI generated content. Because let's face it, if you're using AI and specifically ChatGPT or even other types of AI to create captions for your posts or to create even the images, many times it's first of all very obvious that it's AI generated and it doesn't sound good most of the time. It sounds very generalized and very robotic. Second, it sounds lame most of the time. And third, you're not going to build a professional brand around creating content with ChatGPT. You're just not gonna do that. So the automations that we're gonna go over today, the first automation is gonna be this one, and the second automation is gonna be this one. It looks complicated, but I'm gonna break it down step by step, and we're gonna build it together. And the result of these automations is gonna be the ability to create content like this. Okay, so it's gonna be a caption that is not gonna be AI generated. You're gonna use AI in the process, but it's gonna have your own unique voice, and you're gonna see exactly how to do that. And then you're gonna have a fantastic, like professional looking photo like this. The same for Twitter with another type of image size, specifically optimized for Twitter. Then for Facebook, it's going to be exactly the same. And as you can see here, the content that I created was around lead generation and sales and stuff like that. And as you can see over here, you write unique quotes in your images based on what your post is about. And I'll show you exactly how to create that. And for Instagram, we're actually going to do something super cool, which is going to be a carousel post like this. Again, as you can see here, it starts with weak systems and it ends with efficient operations. And if we go back here, then for Facebook, we have one post that has all 3 lines. And for Instagram, we're going to have 3 posts, basically like a carousel post, but 3 different images. But each image has 1 line and it's going to look very professional and very cool. And I'm gonna give you a sneak peek on automation number 2. It's gonna be the second part. So if you want to watch that, subscribe to the channel. And it's gonna be something like that. Basically, you're gonna create very unique posts based on what your thoughts are. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. And then you're gonna use Midjourney to create the photo, because Midjourney is on a completely next level, completely different level than ChatGPT AI generated images. Like if you use ChatGPT images, many times they look lame and basically they don't look very professional. Okay, so this kind of image is created by Midjourney, and the automation that we're gonna go over in the next video is gonna be a 5-part automation. First part is gonna be this one, second part is gonna be this one, then third part is gonna be this one, fourth part, and fifth part. And I'm telling you guys, these stuff are next level. I'll show you some stuff that are gonna blow your mind. So with that being said, let's dive into this video. And a few more things that I wanna discuss in this video is that, first of all, you need systems like that. Like if you want to automate your content creation with make.com with AI, you need systems like that, ChatGPT. Because if you're using ChatGPT to create your images or to create your captions, you will not build a strong brand around this. Because what is a brand? Your company's brand or your own brand or whoever's brand is something that is unique about you, something that is unique about your company, or whoever think about, I don't know, somebody's brand is unique about them. And you're not going to build a unique brand around generalized ideas or generalized content. And if you tell ChatGPT to create content for you without giving it a very clear idea, as I'm going to show you in this video, it's not going to go anywhere. Just trust me. Like, you're not going to build brand. You can impress your friends or your family by creating ChatGPT content. But other than that, it's not going to go anywhere. Second point on that, it's kind of lazy. Like I see many people that they want to just create content with make.com completely automated. But what does this even mean? You need your own input. You need your own idea into the content creation process. Unless you're a news organization, your job is to just grab the different articles that are the most relevant and the newest articles created and then just post them. That's fine. That's the only instance that I see that something like that would be fine. But other than that, I would tell you to not do that. And I'll show you today a very easy process on how to put your own ideas into the content creation process, and your opinions and your positions in a matter create your brand and create professional looking and sounding content that will never be replaced by AI. AI will not be able to replace that. So with that being said, let's break down step by step the process on how to do that. All right, so the first thing that you have to do is you have to go to Placid.app, which is an application that we're going to use to create our different templates. And as you can see, they're literally templates. You basically, in this case, we have a background color and nothing else. And then we have one picture that I created on Canva, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. And then literally just a sample text here that we're going to use to import our text into the different pictures as you've seen in the post example that I showed you on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Cool. So let's do it from the beginning. So you go here and you click on login, and you basically log in with your email address. You can log in with Google, and then you go over here and you click on add new project. Then you give it a project title, for example, make social media content, and then you can click on API. Fantastic. Then create the project. You can click on make, by the way, too. Fantastic. Then you click on create template and just click on the one that says 1200 by 1200 and then create. Then click on custom and then just click on create over here. Just leave the width and the height as they are, 1200 by 1200. Then you click on create. Then you click on this little white box, you drag it to black, and you're done with that for the moment. Okay, so next we're gonna go to canva.com and just click on create a design here. Then you click on Instagram post square. And what you want to do on Canva here is we want to create the image that we're going to use to import into the template, which is this little circle basically with our image on top and then our name and stuff like that. Okay, so how you're going to do that is you go to elements and we go to frame. You take this little circular thingy, then you put it here. I'm just going to do it here. Then let's take one image of mine over here. Then we take text, we add a heading. Then you should write your own name. You should make it bold. And then just duplicate that and write your own, I would suggest Twitter handle. So for me, it's the Thivos Radis. Should look good. And then you go to elements again, and then you click on, and then you search. And then you search for verified. You take one of these badges, it could be this one, you make it a bit smaller, and you put it over here. And that's a rough way to go about it. Cool. Now, what you want to do is you want to take the letters and make them completely white. White too. If you're gonna be using a black background, you want the letters to be white. You're not gonna be able to see them here. But if you have black letters here, when you import them into the template, you're not gonna be able to see them in the template. So yeah, just make them white. I'll just make it a bit smaller here. Fantastic. Cool. Then you click on share and then you download it with transparent background. So you download that. And so next thing that you do is you go to add picture layer and then you drag the picture layer somehow like this. And then you click on choose a file or drag it here. And then you can click on that again. And basically, you click on the image that you just downloaded from Canva, and you adjust it over here. So let's say that, yeah, this is. And then next thing that you do is you click on the text layer over here, and then again you drag it down somewhere here. And then next thing that I want you to do is I want you to write something here. For example, you can write, "This is how my text would look like." Then the color is going to be white. Fantastic. And now We're gonna adjust this text so that the text is to the left, not centered, and then up here. We don't want it in the middle of the square. Okay, so the alignment is gonna be to the left, and then we're gonna click on this little button over here. Fantastic. And now when I create content, I don't want the text to be that small. So what I'm gonna do is I will come up here that says size and spacing, and then I will make it a 40. And I will call it Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn templates. Fantastic. Then we'll click on OK. All right, so next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to Placid and the different templates that we create, and then we're gonna click on this little arrow over here, then we're gonna click on duplicate. Then we're gonna name it X template, and then we're gonna click on edit. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna click on Twitter, and then fantastic, we have the Twitter size. And now we're gonna adjust the image over here, get text. And I'm gonna adjust the text also, but for the text, I want the size to be a bit smaller. Okay, I'm gonna make the text just a bit smaller because otherwise it looks a bit weird. And basically now we have created the Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn templates, plus the Twitter templates, so we're good on the templates. And now let's go to the next step. All right, so next thing that we're gonna do is you need an Airtable account. So if you have an Airtable account, just log into that and you should be good. If you don't, just sign up for Airtable, and then we're gonna start from scratch on a new table. Then we're gonna name the base make.com and Placid content creation. So now we need to create specific columns here. And the first one is going to be creative ID. Next one is going to be caption. So next one is going to be text on creative. And then you change that. Let's say if it was user, then you change that to long text. Fantastic. Then you click on save. Now, next one, status is fine, but I'm going to change that to for review, approved, and published. Fantastic. Then we'll click on save. Next one is going to be how many new lines, Instagram carousels. I'll show you later why we need that, but we do need that. And just click on single line text, create field. Next one is going to be type of creative, and we need a single select. And the options are single image, carousel, short, and no creative, only text. Okay, so next one is gonna be platform. Again, this is gonna be single select, and the options are gonna be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. Next one is gonna be TikTok. The last one is gonna be YouTube, and then you click on create field. And the last two fields that we need are created time and last modified time. So you just click on created time for the next one, and then the last one is gonna be last modified time. Fantastic, create field, and that's all we need. Now, what we're gonna do as the next thing, actually, we need to do one more thing over here. We need to come here at the grid view, and we need to name that for review. Then we need to duplicate the view, and we need to name that approved. And again, we need to duplicate that, and the last one is going to be named published. Fantastic. And now what we need to do is we need to go to the first one for review, and then we need to filter it. Condition is going to be status is for review. The next one is going to be approved, and we're going to filter it. And then the last one, we're going to filter it again, where status is going to be published. Fantastic. And we're done with creating our Airtable. Fantastic. Now let's start with creating our make automation and our make scenario. I'm going to name it voice to Placid to socials. Fantastic. And the first trigger that we need is a Slack trigger. And what we're going to do that, we're going to watch private channel messages. Then input method, just leave it as is. And then private channel, we're going to use voice to placid content limit. We're going to keep it at 1. Fantastic. And we'll click on OK. And we'll click on OK. And what we're going to do with this specific trigger is that we're going to go to Slack and we're going to drop a voice note in that private channel with our idea for today. Our voice note can be 30 seconds, it can be 1 minute, it can be 2 minutes voice note or something like that. But we need that because that's going to be our opinion on the subject of today. And this is how you create content that is your own content and not AI generated content. I'm going to show you how we're going to take that content or that voice note and turn it into post for the different social media, and it's super powerful. Okay, I have already dropped a voice note in that specific channel before I started shooting this video, so I don't need to do that. Then the next module is going to be again Slack, and we're going to go for download a file. So we click on that. And for the URL private download, you're going to go to files and you click on URL private download and then OK. So now we go to choose where to start. We click on choose manually. And then I have different options here because I've used it quite a lot. But when you use it, you basically need to first voice note in that specific private channel. And I'll show you actually how it looks like. So what I did basically is I voice noted that channel this morning with my idea. And then we take the last one, we click on OK, then we click on run once, and the file was downloaded. Fantastic. So now we go to the next step. The next module is going to be a ChatGPT module, and you're going to click on create a transcription. Now, if you have not connected your ChatGPT account to make.com yet, then you will have something here saying, actually it will be somehow like this, API key, it will need your API key. You basically go to platform.openai.com and you log in to your account, then you go to API keys, and then you create a new secret key. I have already created that. This is how I have a connection with make.com. But basically what you will do is create a new secret key, then you will name the key, create secret key, and then you will have the API key there. You copy that API key and you drop it here, and then you click on save. I don't need to do that because I have already done it. Then you click on OK. So now next step is where the magic happens, and we're gonna message an assistant. Now an assistant is a custom GPT created in platform.openai.com, where you can use custom GPTs with other platforms like make.com. And this specific assistant is actually super cool. It's voice transcription editor, minimal editing. Okay, so the purpose of this assistant is to receive a transcription from a voice note that I just created and edited. And I want your edit to be minimal. Okay, what I want you to do is take out any ums and me saying words twice in the voice note, but don't add any words I didn't say in that voice note. Now, why do I do that? I don't want ChatGPT to come up with its own content. Okay, I want the content to be my own content, my own voice, but in a way and in a structure that flows logically and it sounds nice. Okay, I want the words to be mine, and this is how we do it. And if you want access to the completed make.com scenario, so that you can actually just click on more over here, click on import blueprint, and then you can pop the blueprint up, or you can pop the scenarios up without you having to build it out from scratch, because they are a bit complicated, I tell you. Then click the first link in the description below. It's going to be the link to my School community, and I will have all of the blueprints in my School community. So basically what you need to do over here is you need to, if you don't have that, which you will not have that in the beginning, you need to click on create, and basically you just need to copy the instruction that you're going to find in my School community and then just drop it here. Okay, transcription, fantastic. So now we go back to make. The assistant is going to be voice transcription editor, minimal editing, fantastic. Then the role is going to be user, and then the message is going to be text from the previous one. Okay, nothing else, the previous module and nothing else. Fantastic, we click on OK. Cool, so now let's run it once again, but I need to come here, choose where to start, choose manually, then choose the last entry over here, then click on OK, run once, and let's see what happens. So now this module is creating the transcription from the file that I uploaded, and now this module is editing that transcription, but editing it minimally. So we can see the transcription here. I've seen many companies try to grow by trying to find the magic ad, the one magic special ad that nobody else is using that will immediately get them a ton of sales in one day. So now we have the edited version over here of my transcription. Let's see what happened. We click on content, one, text, value. Fantastic. Let's go over it a bit. It says, I've seen many companies trying to grow by finding a magic ad, a special ad that nobody else is using that will immediately get them a ton of sales in one day. Or they're trying to find the magic salesperson that is so good that every single person they come into contact with, they close. Now, that was based on what my idea was in the voice note and actually what my words were in the voice note. And it doesn't sound like AI created it because it didn't. I did. Okay. And I think this is the proper way to create content with AI. You shouldn't just create a random content with AI 100% automated unless you're having a news organization or unless you're having like a faceless channel that you want to grow. That's fine. But otherwise, your inputs are super important. Cool. And as you can see, it has spaced it out very nicely. I think I've programmed it to space things out, space it out in new lines or paragraphs so it's easily readable. And in that way, when you post it online, when you post it on LinkedIn, let's say, it looks good. It looks like that. It doesn't look like a whole mush over here. Okay, fantastic. So now let's rename this actually to minimal editor. Cool. Okay. Next one, we're going to have another assistant, messaging assistant. In this case, we're going to use Pro X Post Editor. And the reason I use the Pro X Post Editor in this case is because it can take a lot of text and then it breaks down the text to the main points. And we're going to use these main points to import them in our template. Like, for example, these main points over here, or if we go to Facebook, then these are the main points over here. Okay, cool. So let's go back. And in the message section over here, we're going to click on result from the last step, which is the minimal editor. Cool. Then okay. And we're done with that. Now, next, we're going to have another ChatGPT module. So, and it's not going to be message and assistant. It's going to be just create a completion. And I would suggest you use the model ChatGPT 4.0. And what we're going to do here is add a message, then role is going to be user, then the message content is going to be this one. And I'm not going to go over the whole thing. Again, you will find this in my school community, and the purpose of this is to create a separate X caption, like Twitter caption and Twitter creative. Because if we go to Twitter, for example, it would be very weird if we had the same exact words on the template over here, like in the actual creative and in the caption over here. So this step creates a different caption based on the same idea, but a bit different worded, and you will see exactly how it pans out, but this is what you need to do. And over here, what you need to do is you need to map over here the result from the minimal editor. Fantastic. And over here, yeah, it was fine. And over here, the result from the last step, the last module. And the rest, you just leave it exactly the same. For max tokens, you can choose 0 and you click on OK. Fantastic. So we're done with this. And let's run it once and let's see what happens. So again, choose manually, last entry, and run once. Over here again, we downloaded the file, then we transcribed the file, then we minimally edited the file. Fantastic, and we have the edit over here. Cool, so next step is gonna be a router. We need a router over here so that we create the different records in our Airtable base. So we create our records for the content creation in our Airtable base for the different social media. And let's just go ahead and do that. We click on Airtable, then we choose create a record. Yeah, base is gonna be make.com and Placid content creation or whatever base you created. Okay, table is gonna be table 1. So for caption, we're gonna choose 7 over here for X Assistant. That's going to be the caption. And text on creative is going to be the result from the last one, which is going to be number 8. Fantastic. Then type of creative, we unmap this and we click on single image. Platform, we unmap this again, we click on X. And status, we unmap this too and we click on for review and we're done with that. I'm gonna rename this to X. Fantastic. Then what I'll actually do is I'll just clone this. And this is gonna be, I'll just rename this. This is gonna be Insta or Instagram. Then the only difference here is gonna be the caption is not gonna be for X because X has a limited number of characters that you can take as a caption, but Instagram doesn't, Instagram and the rest. So we go back to minimal editor and we click on that result. So we delete this result and then we click on the result from the minimal editor. Fantastic. Then text on creative, we leave it the same. We click on OK. And then I'll just clone this again. Fantastic. Then I will rename it to Facebook. Actually, something that I forgot back over here for Instagram is I will change this from X to Instagram and from single image to carousel. Fantastic. And then for Facebook, I'll go down and click on Facebook over here. I'll change the platform to Facebook. Okay. And then I'll clone this again. And I'll choose LinkedIn and I'll leave everything else the same. Okay, fantastic. So now let me auto align this and let me run this. We're basically done with the first part of the automation. So let me run this and let's see what happens. Cool. So let's click on run once and let's see what happens. So Slack basically got the file, downloaded the file. Now this one is transcribing it, is done transcribing it. The minimal editor is minimally editing it. The X assistant is creating the X caption basically. Then this one is creating the text, and now we're creating the different rows in Airtable. And let's see what happened. Go to for review. Cool. So we have the caption, we have text on creative, we have the different platforms over here. And yeah, we're pretty much sorted. Cool. So the first part of the automation is complete. Now, one thing that you will have to check is the caption for X, specifically for X, because I have programmed it to never go past 280 characters, but sometimes because the ideas that I'm sharing and for it to extract the main points of that idea, sometimes it has to go past 280 characters. So you will have to check before you approve anything that the text is below 280 characters. And I'm pretty sure that it's above 280 characters in this case. So I'm just going to go to Twitter. And let's see. Yeah, actually, it's not that bad. Look at this. Cool. It's not that bad. So in this case, I'll go back to make.com. So in this case, I'm gonna delete the last line over here and I will just keep it the issue. Often the issue is blah, blah, blah. Fantastic. Cool. So now the text that we're gonna be having on the creative is gonna be this one. Effective growth starts with strong systems. Manual work and inconsistent procedures waste time and resources. You can't scale without standardization and clarity. Very nice. And this is going to be our text on the different creatives for the different platforms. Now, something very important that you have to do here is you have to determine how many lines or how many new lines there are over here for Instagram. It's super important to create a carousel. I'll show you exactly why that is in a second. But in this case, it's basically 3 lines. Okay, so in this case, I'll just come here and drop the number 3 and we're done. Actually, I'll rename this to 1 out of 2. Fantastic. And I save it. Cool. Cool. So for the second part of the automation, let's start building it out. And I'm going to name it voice to Placid to socials. And by the way, I just want to make a comment here. I see different people creating tutorials on how to post different posts on the different social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc. with make.com. But when it comes to that part of posting, then they just say, yeah, and just go ahead and post. It's actually pretty complicated to do so, or to even connect, let's say, Twitter. I'm going to show you how to connect Twitter today. And it's a complicated procedure, but we're going to go over it step by step. So the trigger is going to be watch records. The base is going to be the base that you just created. In this case is this one for me. Table is going to be table 1. Trigger field is going to be last modified. Label field is going to be status. Then the view is going to be approved. Fantastic. And that's it. We click on OK. And okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do here, just to make sure that the trigger is working, is I'm going to go to the Airtable over here, the Airtable base, and I'm going to turn every status of these 4 different records to approved. Cool, cool, cool. Approved. Fantastic. Now we go back to make and we run this module only. And we got 4 different responses over here at output, which is fantastic. So it's working very nicely. Cool. Cool. So next, we're going to have a router. And let's start building it out. So, and we're going to set up 4 different filters over here for the different platforms. And the first one, we're going to label it as Instagram. And the condition is going to be platform over here. You just click on platform. Equal to case insensitive Instagram. Cool. Next one. Next one, we're going to set up a filter for, and we're going to call it LinkedIn. And the condition is going to be platform equal to case insensitive LinkedIn. Okay. Next one, we're going to set up a filter called, and we're going to call it X. And the condition is going to be platform equal to case insensitive again, X. And the last one, we're going to set up a filter with the name Facebook. And the condition is going to be platform equal to case insensitive Facebook. Cool. So we've set up the filters so that when the Airtable trigger, when the Airtable trigger pulls 4 different records, only if the platform is Facebook in that case, or Instagram or whatever, the Instagram post is going to continue over here. The LinkedIn post is going to continue over here. The X post is going to continue over here. And then for the Facebook post, is going to continue over here. So let's start building the carousel image post, which was the most complicated one. Literally, it took me like 15 hours to figure it out. Like, it was intense. By the way, this whole automation took me like probably 40 hours to put together. Actually, part 1 and 2 took me 40 hours. Part 1, we're discussing part 1 in this video, and part 2 is going to be in the next video. So you're welcome on that. Cool. So next module that we're going to put here is an iterator. So now, what does an iterator do? So what an iterator does is it takes a bundle, like a ball, let's imagine it as a ball of different items together, like wrapped up together, and then it splits up the items into one by one, or however you will determine it. Okay, so in that case, in this case right now, we want to split the items. So in this case, what I want to split up is the different lines over here. We have 3 lines, and I want to split these lines up so that each line goes on a different page for that carousel. Okay. Otherwise, they're not going to be split up and you're not going to have a carousel. Cool. So how we do that is we have to take the text on creative over here. We have to split it into the different parts. So how we do that is we go over here to text and binary functions. Then we click on split. Then we take the text on creative and we put it in between the first and the second little box over here, and we click on new lines. So we're gonna split the text for every new line that we have. Okay, we click on OK. Next one, we're gonna have a Placid module. Okay, and then we click on create image. The template is gonna be a Facebook and Instagram template. And then for the text, we're gonna click on the value from the iterator. So what the iterator will do is it's gonna split up the different lines, and then for each value, for each line, we're gonna drop it in the template from Placid over here. Okay. Cool. Then we'll click on OK, and the next one is gonna be an HTTP module where we're gonna get a file, and over here we're gonna click on the image URL from Placid, and then we're gonna click on OK. And what HTTP does is basically it interacts with different parts of the internet. So for example, after this module runs, we have an image created, and we cannot download it in any other way other than having an HTTP module. And basically what it does is it interacts with different parts of the internet and does different functions. Next one, we're gonna have an array aggregator. So what an array aggregator does is it takes different split items, and now it creates like a bundle out of them. Like it creates, like, you can imagine there's a ball, a little ball of these different separate items in that. And we need that because we're gonna create 3 different pictures over here with Placid. The HTTP module is gonna take these 3 different pictures, and we need an array aggregator in this case to bundle them up and then push them forward for the rest of the automation. So for the source module, we're gonna choose the iterator over here, and you're gonna choose data from HTTP module and value from the iterator. So we'll click on OK. Fantastic. Now, next module is gonna be again an iterator, and over here, you're gonna click on array from the aggregator of the last step. Cool, so you click on OK. Now, next module is gonna be an increment function, and the reset value is gonna be after one scenario run. So I will explain, so I will build out this part of the automation over here, a few more modules, and then I will explain exactly why I have it that way. So next one is gonna be a Google Drive module, and you will have to upload a file. Now, if you don't have your Google Drive connected to make.com, there is a special procedure to do that. So I have a video on my YouTube channel on exactly how I'm doing that. So watch that video and then come back here. So now what I would suggest, so that you keep organized with these different files, is you create a folder in your Google Drive called Placid Content. Very important, set it to public. So you would go to share, then share over here, and then in the beginning it would be restricted, and you have to turn it to anyone with a link. Then you click on done, and then you create 4 different folders in that folder: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X. In this case, we're going for Instagram. You can see how many examples, you can see how many different times I tried this to perfect this scenario. And by the way, I had tried it even more times, but I deleted a bunch of them. And you're gonna have to create a Google Sheet. As you can see here, I tried it quite some times. The first column is gonna be carousel ID. The second column is gonna be timestamp. The third column is gonna be image URL, then image ID, posted, number, and the other one is gonna be downloadable link. After you've created your own Google Sheet with different columns, you go back to make.com, and then the folder ID is gonna be these specific folders. So basically, you want to choose the folder that these different pictures are gonna be uploaded in. So we're gonna take the ID over here. This is the ID, everything after the slash. And by the way, if there's another slash over here and a bunch of other stuff after that, just disregard that. This is the ID. So after the slash and before any other slash over here, then you copy that. You drop it here, over here, and then you click on map over here. And after you click on map, the file name doesn't really matter, to be honest, but I have set it up in this way. You would click on the increment function over here, and then the ID from the trigger, basically, which is the Airtable. module, and you click on the ID. Fantastic. You click on OK. Next one is going to be a Google Sheets module. And it's going to be an add a row module. You can select by path, or what I like to do is enter it manually. So I go back to the Google Sheet that I created or you just created. And then you take the ID over here, you copy that, go back to make.com, you drop the ID of the spreadsheet over here. The sheet name is going to be sheet 1. So you copy that, then you paste it here. Column names, just click on A to Z, and the values is going to be the ID from the Airtable module. So click on that. You click on the little calendar over here, then you click on Now. Fantastic. So what you need to do for the image URL is you need to basically click on this little star. You need to click on File ID. Then before the File ID, you need to paste exactly this one, https drive Google file d slash, and then the file ID. Next one is gonna be the image ID, in which case we're gonna click on file ID. Cool. Well, next one is gonna be if it's posted or not. Actually, to be honest, now that I'm thinking of it, we don't even need it. But after this is run, it's gonna be posted. So just click on yes, or just choose yes. Then number is super important actually, and I'll explain exactly why. And for the number, we go down to the increment function and we click on this little I button. Then for downloadable link, you click on file ID again, and before file ID, you need to paste this exact thing over here, which is the URL, but changed up so that it downloads the file when that URL is accessed. And then we need an array aggregator again. Source module is going to be iterator. And what you need to choose here is file ID, web view link, and I at increment function. Okay, cool. So now what does this do? So basically on the previous part of the workflow, we created 3 different images, then we downloaded 3 images, and then we send the images over here. So the iterator takes the images, splits them up in 3 different images, then Google Drive uploads the images in Google Drive, then Google Sheets creates a row with the uploaded file, then the array aggregator takes everything that was just created, bundles it up, and gets it ready for the next part of the automation. Cool. So next one is going to be a repeater. Initial value is going to be 1, and the repeats are going to be how many new lines we have for Instagram carousels. This is why we need that. Because if we don't have the repeater over here to repeat, in this case, 3 times, then the system will not know how many times, how many rows it has to extract for the carousel post on Instagram. Okay. So the next module is going to be a Google Sheets module, and it's going to be a search rows module. Spreadsheet is going to be carousel URLs. Sheet name is going to be sheet 1. Then table contains headers, yes. Column range, just leave it as is. And then over here, we're going to put a filter on, which is going to be carousel ID equals to this Airtable ID. And that's it. Ascending, that's fine. Okay. Next one is going to be, again, a Google Sheets module, which is going to be a get a cell module. And again, we enter it manually. The spreadsheet ID is again the spreadsheet ID that you created. In my case, it's this one. Then we drop it here. Sheet name is going to be sheet 1. Cell is going to be this cell. Over here, we basically want the downloadable link. So it's going to be G and the row number. Okay. So it's going to be G row number. Cool. Fantastic. Then we click on OK, and we're done with that. And what we need to do now is we need to create another array aggregator to bundle up everything that we are going to do now in this part of the automation, which is basically we're going to have the different downloadable links so that the system downloads the images and then it can upload the images on Instagram. The source module is going to be the repeater. Just click on OK for now. And then the next step is going to be Instagram. Now, Instagram for business. You need Instagram for business. And if you have a personal account and not a business account on Instagram, you basically need to change it to a business account. And I'm not going to show you in this video how to do that. You can YouTube it and you can change that, but you need to have a business account, an Instagram business account. So you click on Instagram for business, then you would just connect your Instagram account, and you click on create a carousel post. Cool. My page is gonna be Fibos Radis. Now, super important here, you click on OK. For the array aggregator, you know the array aggregator, it bundles up different things. But what you can do with the array aggregator, it bundles up things, but you can position it, you can get the array aggregator to target one of the next modules in your workflow, like one of the future modules. Actually, nothing comes up here. Instagram for Business should come up. So let me just run it once to make sure that it runs, to make sure that the array aggregator has the data that we need to push forward. The Airtable trigger went off. The pictures are being generated, and as you can see, it generated the first picture. Now, then next one, the HTTP module got it. Then it went back to generate the second and the third picture first. And this is what an array aggregator and iterator module, like a combo, sometimes this is what they do. As you can see, like it doesn't move forward if everything is not generated. Okay, now it works for whatever reason. So we pointed at carousel, fantastic. The media type is gonna be image, and the photo URL is gonna be the value that we got from GetASL over here, from the last step. Cool. Then we click on OK, fantastic, and let's run it once again. Cool, so now we are creating the creative with Placid. We created the first creative, then HTTP module downloaded that creative. We're creating now the second one. It downloaded already, then the third one, because we have 3 different lines for Instagram carousels. Now, this one uploads the first file, it added a row, uploads the second one, it added another row, the third one, it added a row. I forgot, yeah, there was an error here because I forgot to put another row. This is going to be an AND rule. And number, yeah, this is why. Okay, number equals to repeater. This one from repeater. Okay, so this is why I put the repeater here, because the increment function, I tell you guys, in this scenario, my problem solving abilities went to the next level. Because so what happened here is the increment function, basically every time that a folder was uploaded to Google Drive over here, it added the next, basically like the next, like it added 1 the first time, the second round it added 2, then the third round it added 3. Anyway, so the increment function is going to be exactly the same with the repeater, and they're going to correspond together. And yeah, you need that, otherwise this is going to be messed up, and the amount of files that you're going to get are going to be triple the amount of what you want to get. So, and let's run it once and let's see what happens. So now we're having Placid generating the creatives. We're having creative number 1, creative number 2. Then the array aggregator is bundling them up, sending them to the iterator. The iterator is splitting them up again, and they're getting uploaded to Google Drive, and we're adding a row over here, and now we're having exactly the amount of rows or cells that we want. And Instagram for Business is creating the carousel post. Literally, the last step took me like, I don't know, 6-7 hours to figure it out on how to bundle them up and send them to Instagram for a carousel post altogether. And let's see what happens. Let's go to Instagram. Effective growth starts with strong systems. Next one, manual work and inconsistent procedures waste time and resources. You can't scale without standardization and clarity. And look at the caption. I've seen many companies trying to grow by finding the one special ad that will immediately get them a ton of sales in one day. They're trying to find a magic salesperson who's so good that every single person they come into contact with is closed. Many companies fail to recognize that the problem or struggle they have in their business is the systems that they're using. Why do I say that? Because if you don't have systems, you waste a lot of time doing manual work, blah, blah, blah. This is one of the main issues that I see many companies run into. They can't understand or realize that they're missing systems. Look at that. Does that sound like an AI generated BS, to be honest? Because when I see AI generated content, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. It's almost like spam. It's spammy emails. When you receive something that you don't even want to see, or you don't even care. So this is perfect. And look at this. Look at this. Like, look how professional this looks like. And it's not, and it is AI generated, but it's not really AI generated. It's mostly AI edited, minimally edited to be able to be posted online. So fantastic on Instagram. We killed it on Instagram. So yeah, next thing that I want to do over here is I want to, after the caption, I will add my own hashtags that I want to rank for. Let's just go high level, make Integromat automations, ChatGPT, etc. You can put whatever kind of hashtags you want. Okay, so we're done with this one. And actually, one last step over here, I'm gonna go through them very fast from now on, is Airtable. I want to update a record. Now you can say you're using Google Sheets and Airtable. Why do you do that? I don't know. I just like having some stuff at Google Sheets and some stuff at Airtable. I use Airtable mostly for quality checking and making sure that everything is in place and approving stuff and stuff like that. Cool. So base is gonna be make.com and plastic content. Table is gonna be our table number one. Record ID is going to be the record ID from the first step, which is the trigger. And we scroll down, we unmap status, and we change that to published. Something actually I forgot to put here is creative URL. Single line text, and we go back to make, we refresh it, and then the creative URL is going to be the array from the flow control, from the array aggregator over here. And basically what this will do is gonna spit the creative URL over here, the creative URL from this step to Airtable. Now, one thing that is gonna go wrong with that is you're gonna have only one creative URL, like one of the files from Google Drive. I didn't figure out how to post all three files in this case because this is a carousel. But what you can do is you're gonna receive that specific, and then you can go back to this little Google Sheet, and then you can search the creative URL here, and you can see the other two URLs because it's gonna be in a row of three. Cool. All right, so we're done with Instagram, which is the most complicated part. Now let's go to LinkedIn. So for LinkedIn, we're going to click on Placid as the next one, as the first module, and we're going to click on Create an Image. Template is going to be a LinkedIn template. Text is going to be text on creative. Fantastic. We'll click on OK. Then we go to the next step, which is going to be an HTTP module again. We get a file. In this case, we only get one file. We only download one file with HTTP module because we're not going to create a carousel of images like 3 times or something like that. So it's quite simpler. And for this URL over here, you click on image URL, OK. Then next one is going to be a Google Drive, upload a file. So now over here, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the other folder that you created over here, which is going to be on Google Drive. It's going to be the LinkedIn folder. And you take the ID of the LinkedIn folder, again, it's after the slash. Now you go back to make, you enter it manually, folder ID, and then you keep this at HTTP, get the file, do not click on map, click on OK. Next one, you should create another Google Sheet. I have already used that, but this is what you need. You need these columns over here, image ID from Placid, timestamp, image URL, posted, and downloadable image URL. Okay, so After you've put that in place, you go back to another module, and it's gonna be a Google Sheets module. So over here, I would enter it manually again, go back to this, and I take the ID. We'll go back to spreadsheet. Cool. Sheet name is gonna be sheet 1. Column range is gonna be A to Z. So now for A, because we have image ID from Placid over here, we go back to the Placid module and we click on image ID. Next one is timestamp, so it's gonna be now. We have to click on this little calendar here and we click on now. Next one is image URL, in which case you need to go back to this little star, you need to click on file ID, and before file ID, you need to paste this thingy over here or just write it out. Then D is going to be posted, and let's say yes. For E, it's going to be downloadable image URL. Again, we need file ID, and before file ID, you basically need to have this exact part of the URL that ends with an equal sign, and it's exactly the same every single time. So just fill it out like this, and then you click on OK. Cool. This one is going to be a get Excel Google Sheets module. In which case, we're gonna enter it manually again. We go back to Google Sheets sheet, and then we take the ID. We paste the ID here. Sheet name is gonna be sheet 1. Cool. Then cell is going to be E and row number. E, row number. Okay, fantastic. And next one is gonna be LinkedIn module, in which case you leave this as a get file, like you don't click on map, and the content is going to be the caption, which basically is the writing, right? It's gonna be the caption from the Airtable Watch Records module, which is the trigger again. You click on caption, and again, I would suggest to add a few hashtags, and then we'll click on OK. And as a last step, we're gonna have again an Airtable update a record module. Base is gonna be the last, basically the base that you created. Table is gonna be table 1. Record ID is going to be the ID from Airtable. Status is gonna be, you unmap this by the way, and you click on published, and creative URL is going to be web view link from Google Drive. Fantastic. You click on OK, and let's run this once and let's see what happens. Cool. So now it goes to Placid. We're creating the creative on Placid. Then we're uploading on Google Drive. Blah blah blah. And now we're creating the LinkedIn post. It is already created, and Airtable is already updated. So let's go to LinkedIn and let's see what happened. And here we go. Look at this. Effective growth starts with strong systems. Manual work and inconsistent procedures waste time and resources. You can scale without standardization and clarity. And this is my own voice with hashtags. I'm going to leave it like that because it's a very nice post. It's not lame, and it's very, very on brand for me. Fantastic. So for X, we need to click on Placid again. You need to create an image. Template is going to be X template. Text on create over here, text. You click on text on creative. Okay. Then next one is going to be an HTTP module. The file is going to be the image URL from the previous module over here. You click on OK. Next one is going to be a Google Drive. Again, upload a file module. We'll go back to Google Drive, and then we go to our X folder over here. Look at this. I made many tests. And then again, you create another Google Sheet with basically the same columns, which is going to be image ID from Placid, timestamp, image URL, posted, downloadable image URL. This is the Google Sheet ID. So you take the folder ID first. You go to make, folder ID is going to be this one, and you leave it like that. Okay, you don't click on map, just leave it at HTTP get file, you click on OK. Next one is going to be Google Sheets add a row module. Select or enter manually. Then we take the ID from this Google Sheet, Then we enter it over here at spreadsheet. Sheet name is going to be sheet 1, column range A to Z. So A is image ID from Placid. So we'll go back to over here and click on image ID. B is timestamp. So we go to this little calendar again. Now C is image URL. So we go back to the start and then we click on file ID. And then you need this before file ID. Fantastic. D is going to be posted. So I will say yes, it's posted. And E is a downloadable image URL, in which case, again, we need file ID. Cool. We take this and we put it before file ID and we click on OK. Next one is going to be a get a cell Google Sheets module again. Enter manually. We're going to take the ID again. Sheet name is going to be again sheet 1. Cell is going to be E because we want the downloadable image. We want to download the image and we want that image to be uploaded on X. And then we need E and then row number. So we're going to hit on E and then row number. Fantastic. Oops. Then we'll click on OK. Now, I'll show you how to connect Twitter with make.com. It's actually kind of complicated. I'm not going to use my Twitter account right now to do that. Cool. This is an old Twitter account that I had. So I actually just disconnected Twitter from Make so that I do it again. So let's go and connect Twitter. Over here, let's go with create a post. We'll click on that and create a connection. Cool. So now you will have here client ID and client secret. You can click on online help over here. You basically click on developer.twitter.com. Okay, you click on developer portal over here. Cool. So now it says here you can pay $5,000 a month if you want to have that. Or basic is going to be $100 a month, or you can sign up for a free account, go with that one. Then over here, you need to describe your use cases for Twitter. So in my case, I'll just say I want to automate, and it says must be 250 characters or longer. I don't know what else to say, so I'm just gonna duplicate that over and over again. Okay, cool. You understand that you may not resell anything, blah, blah, blah. Cool. You click on submit. Fantastic. So now you need to do two things. Okay. You click on, you should have a project over here, so you can click on that. All right. So now what you need to do is you need to click on the sub project over here. You need to set up the authentication settings over here. So it's going to be this one. Bot. Fantastic. And then in the app info, you need to, over here, you need to take this URL over here, drop it here, add another URL, and you copy that, you paste that here, and then website URL, you paste that over here, down here. Okay, cool. Then you click on save. Yes. What you need to do is you need to go back to make, and you need to copy the client ID to client ID here. Let's go. Oops. And then client secret to client secret. You click on save. Make wants your approval. Yes, continue. Authorize app. Cool. So you are connected. Now, the problem that you're going to face here, and this is what I faced, is it says text content. It doesn't say creative or upload an image. So what you need to do, so text content is going to be a caption over here. And then you need to add another module, which is going to be again the next module, but you need to toggle from version 6 to version 5, upload a media. And now you need to create a connection to Twitter, but version 5. So again, you click on create a connection. All right, so what you need to do is you need to go to the project here. Then you need to go to keys and tokens. You need to go to regenerate over here at API key and secret. Yes, regenerate. And then you need to copy API key and then drop it here. And then you need to copy API key secret, drop it here, save, authorize app. Cool, fantastic. So now what we need to do is we need to click on OK. Add item, fine. You can leave it like that, but actually we need to change something over here. You need to add another module as a next step, which is going to be an array aggregator. And the source module is going to be the HTTP get a file module. Now, target structure type is going to be attachments over here. Fantastic. It's going to be the get a file, HTTP. Okay. And I think we're pretty set up. So let's run this once and let's see what happens. Oh, one thing that I forgot to put here is we have to toggle map on. Then the attachments are going to be, you just click on array over here. Okay. And we should be good to go. So we run it once and let's see what happens. So now Placid is creating the image. Then this module is going to download the image. It's going to be uploaded to Google Drive. It's going to be added to Google Sheets. We're going to get the downloadable Google Drive link from here. Then over here, this specific module is to upload the media on Twitter, but it does not even show. Even if you upload it, it does not even show. You need to post it with the next one. This is version 5. When you create the Twitter module, it's a version 5 module, and then the next one is going to be version 6 module. For whatever reason, version 6 doesn't have uploaded media, so you need to do that. And let's see what happened. Right, so it was posted, but something went wrong with the image. The image was not posted, so let's go back and debug it. So media IDs, you need to click on media IDs here. Okay, this is why it was not, the picture was not posting. So let's try it one more time. Cool, so it looks like it went through. We go to Twitter and then Yambo, here we go. So we have the caption and we have the fantastic template. I'm so proud of this template. And we made Twitter work too. So we go back to make and let's get Facebook sorted too. So I'm just going to click save and then I'll reload it. Okay, so I clicked on save, but for whatever reason, it didn't save. So I'll go back to the previous workflow that I had already created and I'll show you how to create it over there. Cool. So here we go. So again, we have already created basically this part over here. And now the only thing that's missing is Facebook. So for Facebook, you basically create an image again. Click on Facebook and Instagram template. For you, you have Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. It's basically the same. It's okay. Then text on creative from Airtable. So you click on OK. Then HTTP get a file. Image URL is going to be the image URL from Placid. Then upload a file, Google Drive. Enter it manually. You need to choose the folder ID, in which case we'll create another folder for Facebook, and then we will have another Google Sheet over here. So for the Facebook folder, we take the ID and we go back over here, we drop the folder ID here, and then we keep the file at HTTP get a file. Fantastic. Next one is going to be a Google Sheets other module where we're going to enter it manually again. We go to our new Google Sheets, which is the Facebook Google Sheets. And again, the columns that we're going to be having is image ID from Placid, timestamp, image URL, posted, and downloadable image. So just create that. Then you come up here and you copy the ID over here. Then you paste it here. Sheet name, you basically come here and you copy the sheet name. You drop it here. I mean, I have already done it, but anyways, column range is going to be A to Z. Values, image ID is going to be the image ID from Placid. So you go here. Now, B is timestamp. So you go to the calendar over here and you click on now. C is going to be image URL. So you basically click on file ID, and before file ID, you need to drop this part of the link over here. Then D is going to be posted. So it's going to be yes. and then downloadable image URL, which is the last one, column E. Then you need to drop the file ID here, and you need to put this exact part of the URL before that, which is basically the URL that downloads that image automatically, and then you click on OK. Then it's going to be Facebook pages, upload a photo. You need to basically connect your page. You need to choose your own page. Album, choose one specific album that you want, in which case for me, it's going to be timeline photos. Then you leave HTTP, get a file over here. Message is going to be caption from the Airtable row, and you click on OK. And then you update the record at Airtable, in which case, again, you will use the base and the table that you will create. Then the record ID is going to be the ID from the first module. Actually, something that I forgot here, yeah, is status. You need to change that to published. And then the creative URL is going to be the file ID, and over here, file ID. And before the file ID is going to be this part of the URL before that. Okay, so, and guys, this is basically it. Cool. So let's recap. The first part of the automation, you basically you speak your own mind on a subject that you want to create content on, or actually for content creators or for whoever else that has already done videos or any kind of opinions or podcasts or stuff like that, you can take the MP3 file from the video or from the podcast, drop it in that channel, in that Slack channel, and that's your opinion on the subject. You don't need to go and record another voice note. Then next one is going to be download the file, blah, blah, blah. So over here, we have the transcription of that file. Then we have the minimal editor to make it basically postable in a very nice way, but not alter your content. Then we're going to have the X assistant, blah, blah, blah. And then we create the different records on Airtable. All right, so let's just run it once so that you see how that works. So I'm going to go with choose where to start, choose manually. And now I'm using my old automation. So I will go to the other Airtable table that I have. So I'm going to go back from this one, and we're going to go to content with make.com. Cool. And as you can see, we have the Airtable rows. Cool. So as you can see, we have the different Airtable rows here with a caption, with text on creative, and it's very organized. It's so nice. It's so organized. I love it. And we have Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, and it's for review. Okay. And then we have creative URLs here that we don't have already. We don't have yet, but let's say you go over the captions and you really like the captions. Okay. And you go over the text on creative and you really like it. So when you approve of it and when you're done, then you change everything from for review to approved, and then things are ready to go. So when they are approved, then the next part of the automation kicks in which case, by the way, you need to put the trigger, the exact trigger on when they're going to kick in. I would suggest you set this for every two days or something like that, 2 or 3 days. And if there is something approved, it's going to create the different posts on social media. If there is nothing approved, then it's just not going to run. It's not going to create anything. And yeah, let's just run it once for now. And let's see what happens. The different things here. Oops, what happened? This is why it didn't happen, because the caption was longer again. Cool. Then I'm gonna put that back in the caption over here. Again, this is super important, guys. You need to check. The only thing that you need to check is the X caption. And let's run it once again and let's see what happens. Let's see the X. Yeah, here we go. Fantastic. Look at that. That's awesome. And by the way, you see here, like we have a different caption and a different creative, like a different caption on the creative. Okay. Beautiful. Just beautiful. This is like true professional content creation. All right. So it uploaded on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Let's check all of these things out. It uploaded a very nice post on Facebook. It uploaded a very nice post on LinkedIn. And here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. So what I would suggest is you set this specific trigger to trigger at either every day or days of the week. And you can say, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, exactly the same with this trigger over here. But let's say the posts will go out at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. And by the way, when they are approved and when they are posted, then they go to published. And yeah, we're good to go over here. So, guys, hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you found it very valuable. If you did, hit the subscribe button and check out my school community on AI systems automations. We're sharing a lot of things there. At some point, I'm gonna have exclusive courses. I mean, I already have exclusive courses there, but I'm gonna have exclusive courses on make.com automations. This is what I'm building right now. At some point, I will also have lead generation systems, AI systems, and a lot more. Okay, so with that being said, I'll see you in part 2.